to going. Had time to pick it up, turn around, snap and kick a goal.
Today was as good a team performance as we've put in. I thought we were just really solid. I thought it was a really mature, rounded performance from a group of blokes that wanted to respond from last week.
How the football world turns. 12 months ago, Nathan Buckley was with us for a couple of weeks, probably wondering as we welcome you in tonight whether you would have a job this year. Now, you not only got a job, you got a premiership chance. Did you think this was possible so quickly as we welcome you?
Thanks for bringing me in, mate. Look, a lot can happen in a year. A lot can happen in a lot shorter space of time than that. So there's times to reflect. I'm not reflecting at the moment, but yeah, clearly we're, as a club, as a team, we're pretty happy with our progress in this season and looking forward to what's to come. The
team's changed. I'm keen to explore how you feel, whether you've changed. The President alluded a little bit to that on the weekend in a radio interview.
The players wanted Nathan Buckley. Now, was that the case 3 or 4 years earlier? Probably not.
So for all of that, has Nathan changed?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I think he's a lot more relaxed. I think he has invested far more in the playing group and everyone around him. And I think he is doing now what he has to do, and that is be a coach and a mentor. And, yeah, he's doing things really well.
Do you think that's accurate? And if you're self-reflective, have you changed, and how much have you changed?
I'd be really disappointed if I was the same bloke I was 4 years ago, or that I went about things the same way. I think you definitely, one thing that I believe I have always been is a learner. Learning by experience, even tough experiences, is probably the best way, because it sharpens you up even more. But I think any focus just on me doesn't do justice to the rest of the football club and the footy department. We've got some fantastic people at that club that have been there for a long time, and we've just got the mix right at the moment, and it's starting to come together.
But to evolve as a coach is tough, I would assume, because you've got to be staunch in your views and your beliefs in the way the game's played, and you've got to counter that against the need to evolve. How have you found that transition for you?
I've enjoyed it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that there's, as I said, there's times along that road that are a little bit harder than others. A personal journey, not just a professional journey. But you know, when you share that with good people, people that you respect, that you value, and you feel respected and valued in return, I think that's where it makes that journey a little easier and more worthwhile. And clearly I've been on it for a fair while with this footy club, over a couple of decades. So it's something that I'm invested heavily in. The club are very heavily invested in, and as I said, we've got a lot of great people at the club that are doing some great things.
And obviously a lot has changed, not just the players, but the administration, assistant coaches. It's a new look footy club, but you are one of the most interesting people in footy, and you were last year, and the change on field this year is it's a lot about you. Do you think there was anything looking back last year that maybe you weren't doing as well as you could have?
Yeah, winning enough games.
No, seriously. Though.
No, but I am serious. I think that we probably have changed maybe 5 or 10%. I think we were on the right path. There was no doubt we were on the right path and have been for the last couple of years. We just needed to get a few things fall our way.
What fell your way as a person? What changed? I mean, Eddie said you've changed.
Yeah, there seems to be a great focus on that. I think I've made it pretty clear. I'm the same. I'm pretty much the same bloke I always have been. If I was a different person, what would that do to my integrity? Well,
you heard Damien Hardwick at the end of last year, and he wasn't a different person, but for a while he became a person that his wife said was not the man she married.
Yeah.
Which was a big admission from some. I mean, did you look at that and reflect on that in any way and wonder whether...
I don't know. I didn't notice Damien change that much. His wife's probably better placed to make that comment. My qualities are still the qualities that I've always had. I think you learn probably to round out your rough edges a little bit. I think that's what maturity does for you. And the tough experiences, as I said, they definitely do that. But no, there was too much focus on me last year. There's too much focus on me now.
I was interested last year hearing you talk, saying that you had a decision to make whether or not you wanted to coach Collingwood next year. How seriously did you dive into that decision, and what other things were you thinking about doing?
Yeah, well, very seriously, because I think you need to believe that you've actually got the chance to succeed. And there are a few decisions strategically that I think needed to be made at the football club outside of my realm that were going to allow us to become successful on field and to get that clear air to really be able to have a crack at it. So, without specifying those, there were 3 or 4 things that I really wanted to have a look at to see what had come out of the review and whether in fact they were going to be things the rest of the football club were going to view it the same way that I did.
Was one of them job security for your assistants?
Yeah, well, that was all part of the mix of just the general valuing of the football department and the people within it, and I think that's something that has shifted and that is definitely giving people confidence to be able to go and do their roles, but also to feel valued within that. And that's not to say they weren't, but I think it's gone to another level.
Bucks, on field, my biggest criticism and a lot maybe watching Collingwood was your effort was always there most of the time last year, but it was the inability to get reward for your efforts really from midfield forward. How have you been able to have that change? Is it structural? Is it player personnel? Because you're a lot quicker this year. Where does that stem from? Oh,
look, I think it's a little bit of all of the above, Lloydie. Yeah. We definitely have got more pace in our front half, and we didn't. Will Hoskin-Elliott's come on. Jaden Stevenson clearly has come in as a first-year player and is playing very well. I think Josh Thomas has come back after his time away and took that year to settle and is now playing some better footy. I think our players, I think we're more set on exactly the roles within that forward line and within the forward half, and I think that we've found a better chemistry. I think that comes about from all manner of sort of areas, but there's no doubt that they're confident. The players are confident in what we're doing and how the ball's coming down. We can score in plenty of different ways, and it's fairly dynamic.
Jordan De Goey is one of those players who's dynamic and he's having a great year. Do you resent a player, or lose trust in a player in terms of, I'll give more to another player when a player lets you down and publicly embarrasses you and lies to you like he did to you earlier this year?
Yeah, well, that was 18 months ago, I think. Yeah, no, I don't. I think any person needs to earn their stripes. I've always given people the benefit of the doubt. I've always believed in the goodness in everyone, and sometimes that's been at my detriment. Yeah. But Geordie's fundamentally he's a good kid. He's made some blues, and he's been caught in positions where he's felt under pressure that he's had to protect his hide or save himself, and that's got him in a bit more trouble than he might have thought.
You made an interesting comment about him a few weeks ago. I heard you say on radio, a leopard doesn't change his spots.
Yeah, well, I don't think I said that initially, but I think that's something that a lot of people have said.
I think you did say it.
Well,
no, you weren't bagging him, but you were just trying to explain where he's at.
Well, he's always going to be Jordan. Well, I suppose it's probably in a similar way as you're asking me about my development as a person and what I've changed. Jordan's not going to change that much. Although he probably will, because he's a young man and he's got a lot of learning to do, and he only knows what he knows, and he goes about it in the right way. And I think the playing leadership group need to be acknowledged for the work that they've done with Jordan. There's been some tough love, but there's definitely been some arms around his shoulders, and that's clearly why he signed with the football club. And whilst you might go back to a couple of things, incidents that were a little bit more negative, the fact that he signed with the footy club and took a fair hit financially was a fair indication to us that he was committed to the club, to the people within it, and he wants to be a part of it, and he wants it to be successful.
There's a perception that you clashed with the Rat Pack when they were around.
Yeah.
Is the fact that Jordan De Goey's been able to thrive under your coaching now a sign that you wouldn't have clashed with him if they were around today, or it's unreasonable to draw that bow?
I've had to answer that one a few times, Chris. I never had any problems. I don't feel like I had any problems personally with anyone. I think where the clashes come is when there is a difference of opinion on where the football club's going and how you're going to go about it. I think every environment needs standards and expectations, but if that's only coming from one place, I think that's going to cause some friction. There's no doubt that over the last couple of years our playing leadership has become stronger, and as I said, they've been the major reason for Jordan and his development. The coaches and the leaders outside of the playing group are clearly involved in that, but our player leaders have taken a very strong position, and they, along with me, understand that there's all types of personalities as long as you want to do the best thing for the football club.
Bucks, Cara's asked you about change and development. You said you haven't changed too much apart from winning. I want to show some vision of yourself probably early last year in the coach's box. We'll take a look at that now. And did something change in you? Did people watch you and say, Bucks, you've got to rein that in? Did it come out of the review? Did you see it yourself? Because that's not you anymore in the coach's box. You seem...
Isn't it?
No, I don't see that anymore. Would you agree with that?
No.
No? You're still that person? I don't notice you...
I think what happened is my arm got sore.
No, you seem totally in control now. Maybe it's because you're winning, but even late last year I thought it had changed.
Yeah, I think that the big shift for me halfway through last year was probably the realisation I might not be doing this forever, so I want to make sure I enjoy it. Okay. So I think that probably brings you back a peg, and that's clearly flowed through into now, and it won't change. So that has been a lesson that's been learned. But in the coach's box, it's game day is a very emotional part of the day. Am I more consistent, more measured? Potentially, but I think that has as much to do with the confidence and belief that you have in your playing group, in your coaching staff, in the environment that you're a part of, and the fact that their abilities are demonstrated, and to be able to go and execute what they're good at. And I think that gives you more confidence as a leader.
How important is it to finish in the top four to you now?
Well, anecdotally, very, very important. I think it gives you that double chance, and then once again, top two gives you that home final and a double chance. So there's clearly layers within the top 8 system that facilitate a greater chance of success. So that's definitely something that I'm conscious of, and that everyone in the football world is conscious of. That one thing we've done really well is concentrate on us, make sure that we look after the next opportunity, and when you get to round 23, it all adds up to wherever you finish.
Bucks, we've got a couple of players to ask you about. One's with your club and one plays for the Gold Coast Suns at the moment. Just on Darcy Moore, his contract status, how heavily do you get involved in that at round 18 and before?
No, I'm in list management meetings, but I'm not heavily involved in that at all. And Darcy and his management have been talking to Ned Guy and the club. I believe there's been an offer on the table since before the season began. I think even late last year. But Darcy's been keen to get back and play some football, and we understand that that's still what he wants to do. And
that must concern you, Nathan?
No, well, as a coach, no, it doesn't concern me because you've got bigger fish to fry right now. So one of those is getting Darcy up and confident in his body to be able to help us have a crack at the back end of this year.
How is his body?
Yeah, well, he had a scan. It was clear, so that was good. That was a good validation, I suppose, for him. So we expect him to train this week, and he'll be doing everything to put his hand up for the weekend.
Do you want Tom Lynch at Collingwood next year?
I don't think there's many coaches that wouldn't want him.
There's only 2 or 3 in the mix.
Yeah, so I'm told.
Is it winnable? Can you get him, or do you think the power of the Richmond offer is tough to compete against?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the Richmond offer is. I don't know, where that stacks up against other offers. I think any club needs to consider, where they think they're at, where their salary cap is at. Tom Lynch is a player that I can see fitting into our structure really well and making us a better team. So if that's an indication of our interest in him, well then, so be it.
Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, we have.
Have you met him personally?
Yep.
How recently?
A while back.
You think that's the modern game now, where you have to go and do that? Because we saw that Richmond did it last week. We heard those reports. Yeah,
look, I think that, to be transparent, I think more clubs these days are very proactive about improving their lists and about wanting to wanting to give themselves the best chance to contend, not just in this season but in seasons beyond. So, yeah, we make no apologies for being a club that wants to be as competitive as we possibly can in the future, and we understand that there's other clubs that are going about their business in the same manner.
And did you take the time, like I assume the others did, to pitch Collingwood? Or did you take players? Did you present the list? How did you approach it?
I'm not going to give you blow-by blows, mate, but needless to say, we wouldn't have been the only club.
Bucks, last one. It's a game of the round, the game of the season, I should say, on Saturday. Richmond, Collingwood. Some will say it could possibly be the grand final preview. Hopefully for you it is. Do you feel you're better equipped right now than you were, 7 or 8 weeks ago when they got hold of you? Probably.
Yeah. So we played them in round 6, and we were competitive for probably 2.5 quarters, and then they got going and blew us away in the last quarter. And I think that's evident of what they've been able to do to a lot of clubs. I think we're in better nick. I think we probably understand ourselves a little bit better. We're probably a little bit more aware of what our strengths are. We still think we're going to have that capacity to be able to explore that in the next 5 weeks. But this game against Richmond is the next chance for us to back up our form of the last couple of months and see where we stack up.
And from someone born in 1960 to someone born in 72, what does it mean to you historically? Because it means a lot. If you get something with a 9 in front of it this weekend, there's going to be a lot of history there too.
With the crowd,
the rivalry.
Yeah, well, I understand it. It's probably through my playing days it was more Essendon, Carlton. I think the Richmond one has been there for quite a while. And one of the first games I saw as a young kid, an 8-year-old, was a Collingwood Richmond game. I remember the wooden seats and the roar of the crowd. There weren't any roofs on the stands those days, but so I can understand the romanticism of it, and hopefully we can add to it.
Nathan.